Permit me to adopt the extensive and extended protocol list established both by my former teacher and comrade, Mr. Gill, as well as Professor Beckles. And let me take the opportunity to say good afternoon to all our distinguished guests, including Laura and her family. I am particularly happy to see our school children here. And like Professor Beckles and Mr. Gill, I too want to single out the Rastafarian community for special commendation. When I was in Barbados at the University of the West Indies, I read a book by a Rastafarian lecturer called Rastafari in Transition. I would admit that prior to that, I too, suffering from the legacy of West Indian education, probably viewed the Rastafarian community with a certain level of either disdain or disinterest or apathy. And after reading that book, it emphasized to me, and it certainly created a revolution in my thinking, that perhaps more than any other group, at least in the English-speaking Caribbean, that they were single-handedly responsible for creating the consciousness that I needed as a descendant of ancestors who were enslaved in the Caribbean to understand that reparation is not just about material reparation, but it is essentially about the need to mentally educate ourselves about our own history, about the crime of slavery, its lasting impact on us even today. And so to the Rastafarian community, I say it is just a step in a fight that has gone on for what seems like forever. But I'm quoting Sir Beckles when I say slavery wasn't ended overnight, and the fight for reparations is going to be a long, hard, and difficult fight. But it is a fight that we owe to our ancestors, because they never accepted slavery as normal. They never accepted that their position in life was to be slaved. And so as free men, we owe it to them to ensure that their fight for dignity, for the horizontal acceptance of humanity, remains our fight, and the next generation of Caribbean citizens fight as well. So thank you very much. Although I have accepted this apology on behalf of the people of Grenada, and by extension, the citizens of the Caribbean, this apology first and foremost belongs, I think, to the CARICOM Reparations Committee and the Grenada Reparations Committee. And so I want to invite Professor Beckles, Comrade Gill, and Dr. Dow to in fact receive the apology on behalf of the Caribbean community. After listening to the passionate and emotional speech of Mr. Gill, the scholarly and passionate speech of Professor Beckles, if I had any doubt before that, it no doubt took some singular courage for Laura and her family to find it within themselves to conceive of the need to apologize. Not privately, not remotely, but in person. I think I am left with no doubt that if my ancestors were part of such a system, that I would be horrified, that I would be ashamed. And perhaps the easy decision would have been to pretend that since I didn't do it, I ought not to take any responsibility for it. So it is testimony to your courage, it is testimony to your bravery, to your willingness to confront what no doubt is a dark and difficult past, that you are here today to apologize in person. And so, my acceptance of the apology comes from a profound place of recognizing, and since we benefit from the legacy of British colonialism in that the vast majority of us are Christians, we are all seeking redemption. And there can be no redemption if we are not prepared to forgive. And so I accept the apology as a descendant of Africans who were enslaved in the Caribbean in my personal capacity. I accept the apology on behalf of the government and people of Grenada, and I specifically accept the apology on behalf of the descendants of the persons who were enslaved on the various estates that the Trevelyan family had an interest in Grenada. I also accept the apology on behalf of our CARICOM citizens as the beginning of a step in the right direction. I appreciate that some of our fellow citizens may see this as tokenism, as an attempt to pacify us. But I am satisfied that sometimes even tokenism is the beginning of the step in the right direction. And I'm also cognizant of the fact that you did not have to do this. And this is important. But you have chosen to do so. And therefore, it is important that you be recognized for doing so. But as a head of government, I want to take the opportunity to join in a public request to my fellow head of government of the United Kingdom to accept our kind invitation to commence dialogue in an open, transparent, frank, and dignified manner to talk of the need for reparative justice for the citizens of CARICOM. And to also use your good office as the convener to join with your European counterparts to address this issue with your French and Spanish counterparts in particular. And I make special mention of the Republic of Haiti. Because if there is one island where it is demonstrable that the need for reparative justice exists, is the Republic of Haiti. And so I wish to end by thanking Professor Beckles, thanking Dr. Dow, thanking Comrade Gill, and thanking all of you and the Trevelyan family for being here today. It's an emotional time. It can't be otherwise. But I'm happy that we were able to have this event. I look forward to many more of these events so that when Grenada celebrates its 100th year of independence from Britain, our citizens will point to Sir Beckles, Mr. Gill, Dr. Dow, the Trevelyan's, the Rastafarian community as the persons who led the successful fight for reparative justice. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.